Thank you, Dr. Wen. Last but not least, we will have Professor Hung-lam Chu from Polytechnic University to share with us his outstanding achievement in the Humanities and Social Science prestigious fellowship scheme. Professor Chu, please.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and for giving me this opportunity to come here. I guess I'm not in the mainstream today because the topic is really about collaborative research, right? Let me be honest, I have not ever ventured into a collaborative project. The 4 or 5 projects that I got are all by single individual endeavors, including the HSS FS, right? And also the topic is given to me. I'm supposed to talk about how to write the good proposals. And, kind of in a typical Chinese way, let me just say that 唔敢當. Sometimes luck is involved, right, in having this kind of proposal successful. But I really, there's one thing that I really learned from the comments of the reviewers, over those years when I got these different proposals. And I should have put that in the first, in the first slide, but actually I forgot to do it. So let me read it. These are the things that the reviewers are looking for. Actually, the reviewers are asked by the RGC to respond, right, to provide answers. Number one is they are asked to comment on the objectives of the proposal. And then specifically they will ask, could the research agenda address the objectives? Okay. And the second is they will have to comment on the research design and methodology. And the third is the feasibility of the proposed research and also give reason why. Okay. And then the next one is they have to address this issue, whether the proposal is original or innovative, and if so, in what aspects of the research proposal, and what advances will the research result bring about to the related field. So we are talking about real contribution, of a certain piece of research. And finally, we comment on the reasonableness and of the proposed budget and manpower planning. I think it makes good sense, to put the money issue at the, as the last one. And they actually focus on quality of the proposals. And all related and all are viewed as a whole before they decide whether a proposal is fundable or not, right? So I'm here to talk about, kind of reflect on my own experience and summarize them under several headings. And again, I can, by training, I'm a historian, okay? So I can speak relatively confident, with some confidence, for scholars in that area of specialization. I'm actually not qualified to speak for social sciences, right? So bear this in mind, right? And what I have to say, the first part of that actually duplicate much with what Professor McBride just mentioned, the general rules about, how to write a presentable and convincing proposal, okay? The first one is, why are you writing a proposal? You write to convince people to give you money, right? You want you want them to be confident in you, so that they think the money given to you will be, worth giving. So I think the number one thing is a matter of manner. You got to serious about the whole thing. You got to see, put all the different paragraphs, different sections into a coherent piece of writing, which is substantive, which means that, your statement must be solidly grounded. And this, sorry. I'm sorry. Just should power So the language is that simple. It should be clear and lucid and run to the understanding of even the non-specialist. And I think, the writing should be informed and logically presented. And also it should clearly thought through. And this is one, one comment I received from my reviewers several times. They all agree that the project, the proposals were very well thought through. So I guess this is important. What that means is that, you got the objective clear, and you got your material ready, well organized, and you have a convincing methodology to carry it out, and you have some results that you propose, which are decent, which are deliverable, okay? And next one is what we call the contribution and knowledge for the project, right? I think it would be difficult, to get a project funded when you are not considered as one who is capable to make the delivery, okay? So it is important to bear in mind, and also to let the reviewers, the reader of your project, of your proposal, know that you can make the contribution and you have the right knowledge to do it, okay? So number one, I'd say you should show relevance of the project to a line of inquiry. Or otherwise they will think that you are shaky. You don't know exactly what you are going to do, right? So if you can relate it to some line of inquiry, better, some important line of inquiry, you will get funded. And also you have to relate your research to some major issues in a certain field, right? And I should not go into the details of that, but that's the basic idea, right? And also identify the research issues as that, articulate their significance, and explain the need to research them. And this is important because all these are proofs of what you know, what to do, what you can do for a worthy project. And the third point of this part is to focus on the theme and also to delineate boundary. This is important because then you show that you know how to bring things under control. And again, that is important. It related to the issue of feasibility. That means you can deliver, at the end of the project. Okay, about the originality and the ability part, 2 points actually. One is to show the people, to show your reader that your project really is original, okay? But then there is a trick in that. This is my experience, Don't let them know, don't tell them that, well, this is completely new, because, nobody will believe it, especially in our field, right? Nothing is so new in historical inquiry. But then it really is, there must be something new there, but not totally new, right? And so that would justify, your quest for such a project. It's worth doing, number one, right? And relatedly is whether you can do it or not. No matter how good the project is, if you cannot deliver it, it's no good, right? So then it's important for you to relate your project to your past research and also your ongoing evolving projects, right? And I think that also creates a sense of coherence in you. People know that you are doing not just isolated individual acts of research, but in a series, in a body, you are contributing to some body of knowledge there, and that is a big deal, okay? Second, show your ability to conduct and research and deliver the results. Again, this is related to the feasibility issue, okay? And here we are on the workability and the timeliness of a project. I think it is important that you explain and justify your research and work plan, including the research and the write-up, okay? Having a workable, a implementable, and deliverable work plan, in my opinion, is truly important, because at the end of the day, the funder, okay, the reviewer want to see whether you can deliver it or not, right? And I think there are several technical things we have to observe. One is, answer this, what parts will be done by you and when? We're talking about steps, step 1, you do this, step 2, you do that. And also, if research assistancy or collaboration is involved, make it clear that who will, what parts will be done by the other party, and also when, at what step of the research, okay? And also show the connection and the interconnectedness of the teamwork, because that kind of guarantee the integrity of the project. Now, otherwise, if one person, do this, one person do the other, the project will fall apart, and the final result cannot be delivered as promised. Okay. Next one is about the technicality and also a matter of prudence. I think this is simple, right? You better follow the guideline of the application provided by the ROGC. For example, observe the word counts. Never write too many. And I see this also as a matter of fairness. When you speak, no point to write too, more than what is needed. And also, this is one thing I learned, in my first project. Use bullet point rather than solid paragraphs for the presentation of your aims and proposed output. I think everybody knows that, so I won't say more, right? And then this is point I cherish very much. Be honest to yourself, right? Because very often, proposers get their writing edited by some professional editors in order that they have good English, okay? And that, of course, is good, right? And in some cases necessary, although I haven't tried before, okay? But the worst thing is that sometimes the editor, will guide you into something you don't know, right? Something you thought is very interesting, maybe appealing, maybe capture the attention and therefore the funding, right? But it may not, okay? So I think it's all important, even in your language, you should be honest to yourself. And from my success, I would say that, the reviewers actually appreciate this. They know that the project, the proposal is written by you, not by some other hands, okay? Finally, these are what I call side thoughts. That is, I think, for historical studies, and I suspect also for literature, I must delete social science, right? Literature at least. Don't think that basic research, such as data research, textual research, are too basic to be fundable, okay? I think your contention of the significance of basic research may count, right? It may even carry weight, okay? So therefore, when it is necessary, do show your way and ability to gather and exploit the source materials for a solution to the research involved. Again, this is related to feasibility, right? If you don't know the basics, how can you, go on for what is, above? And also for philosophical studies, I mean, projects submitted by scholars in philosophy, my sense is that the questions better be big, right? Because most of them don't need much empirical data for their analysis in analytical philosophy. What they need really is the time, to work out their argument, to formulate their argument. And if you work on a small, very tiny, very specific questions, you will be doubted whether you need that much time to do it, and therefore the funding. The funding basically is to release you from teaching, okay? And this is especially true if you are applying for a prestigious fellowship, okay? Okay, finally, this. And again, I think this duplicate much of what Professor McBride and other professors note about, okay? There are several musts. I think I can think of, first of all, the aim and the need of the research must be clearly stated and make sense. And second, the issues you are going to tackle must be specific, okay? And the work plan must be a realistic one. Don't promise too much, okay? Don't do much, but do what you can deliver. And the output proposed must be quantifiable. You know, never say that I'm going to publish some, you know, an important paper in an important journal. Don't say that, right? Just list what kind of paper, preferably some suggestive titles in some identifiable journals. That would be good. And last but not least, you know, the language must be unpretentious. And I think the reader would appreciate that. Thank you very much.